things that make you go, what? I'm going to try to tell this story calm, slow, and try to keep it under 15 minutes. So let's jump into it. Uh, I was at this RV park. I was building a miniature city. We getting ready for the grand opening. We completed phase one. Now we got phase two and phase three. Phase three is double than what phase two is. And it also larger than phase one and two put together. So keep that in mind. Phase two is the smallest phase, right? Friday, the sod truck pulled in. Me and my boss, we waiting for him, right? They unloading the sod. And my boss say, damn, I counted 21 Mexicans. What you counted? I said, man, I thought maybe I counted 24. So the boss man come, right? Which was a real cowboy now, you know. And my boss said, man, how many Mexican them is? The man say, 21. He say, damn, y'all crew larger than our whole crew. And we taking care of whole city. And the man say, yeah, they get the job done. And my boss say, well, next Friday, they're the ones gonna do phase two phase three. The man say, yeah. Cause my boss say, now remember, phase three are bigger than phase one and two put together, right? He said, yeah, I know. Now check it out. They came there 8 a.m. They left 8 p.m. We're 21 man now, right? And my boss say, man, you might have to schedule the weekend if you come in Friday to do phase three because ain't no way you gonna finish in one day. The man say, we'll finish. I guarantee you, sir. We've been doing this my whole life. He said, okay, I'm gonna take your word now. Make sure you bring all these 21 guys and have them well rested, right? That's what my boss told this man, right? Friday come. The man put to be there, we thought 8 o'clock, right? But the man put in 12 o'clock noon. And he had a double trailer. Bigger than the trailer we saw before, what we thought was the biggest we ever seen. This time he had a double trailer, man. And we like, wow, the whole crew like mouth drop, right? We ain't never seen that much sod in our life, right? So my boss called me on the radio. He said, hey, meet me to phase three. Because we got to see what this guy gonna do. We got to make him promise that this sod gonna be down. Before the weekend, cause ain't no way they finna lay all that sod now. And it ain't nothing but 8 hours before it get dark, right? So we met the dude there, And it was like 4 of the sorriest looking black guys you ever want to see, right? And now my boss looking like Mr. Ruffle, his eyes rolling in his head, and he talking to the boss man in front of the guy now. He's like, how the hell these folks sorry goddamn nigger? These folks goddamn sorry black guys gonna outrate 21 goddamn Mexico. This is fucking ridiculous. What is your goddamn boss man phone? The man say, man, my boss man? I'm the boss man. He said, you couldn't even lay phase two. It took y'all sun up to sundown. How the hell y'all gonna lay phase three? You promised me you gonna come the weekend. Right? The man said, we don't work on weekend, man. Well, how the hell? Well, what I'm gonna do? The man say, what you can do is take your ass back in the office somewhere and sit down. This all gonna be laid. There's no way these sorry looking goddamn 4 black guys gonna outwork one fucking Mexican, let alone 21. And the guy just looking, they ain't saying that, right? And the white man say, sir, I'm gonna be honest with you. We bring 21 Mexican on the site when we get a big contract. That's just to fool the owners who paying us, to make them feel like, well, it was gonna be rough to money. He said, but in reality, if I had a deadline to meet, like we got now, this big deadline, he said, I trust these 4 black guys before I even trust 50 goddamn Mexicans. My boss said, are you crazy? Are you honestly crazy? Do you think I'm stupid? The man says, sir, I would pick these 4 black guys to go to hell and back before I pick them 21 Mexicans. He said, well, if the goddamn grass die, goddamn it, we only get our goddamn lawyers and blah, 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 right? So I say, bro, calm down. He said, why you never upset? I ain't never seen nothing get you upset. Is this time to be upset? Goddamn it, you put your be upset. I said, bro, this ain't shit, man. God damn, take your ass in the office or go home, man. He said, I'm in the way again now. Yes, you in the way, boss. You always in the goddamn way because you don't know nothing about this type of stuff and you get stressed out. Please, boss, do me a favor and go home. And he say, yeah, I guess I'm in the way again. So then boss say, hey, see if your brothers want some cigarettes and food and drinks. I'll give you some money and you pay it back. Now, she said, hey guys, do y'all want smoking cigarettes or anything? The 4 black guys looked at him, and said, we don't want shit from you. Right? I mean, it's credit how they say it, right? You say, oh, fuck, they ain't gonna take nothing. I offer it to them. God damn. You say, man, whatever you buy them, David, I reimburse you, okay? So when the boss left, I said, hey, man, y'all want anything? They say, we can use some smoke, some beer, sodas, if y'all don't mind us drinking. I said, no, drink all you want, bro. I say, one of y'all come with me to talk to heavy ass goddamn cooler, because then we're going to put some ice in it from the clubhouse, right? So one came with me. I brought, man, like 3 cartons of cigarettes, for them. I brought a ton of beer and a ton of soda, because I ain't want no beer. I want soda, so. But all of them just wanted beer, so. But I did brought like 2 18 packs of soda, right? And it's just a big cooler like the kind they take on ships, right? So they say, man, them when they bought me, and say, boy, you must be got a nerve or goddamn steel to work with this son of a bitch every day. I said, oh, it's stressing, man, because he don't know what he doing. I said, but they do that on every job I'm on. They put people over me who don't know what the hell they doing. I say, but yeah, he do stress me out. I have to get mad like I did just then and say, God damn it, go home. And then when he come back to work, the project finished, right? And the black guy say, damn, he racist, dog. Do he treat you well? I say, not really when it comes to pay and respect. You know what I mean? They keep promising me they're going to pay me this and that and this and that and this and that, but they never do, and I don't know, man. I got a goddaughter and she's 6-year-old and I just want to be there for her when she needs something, so I just put up with this bullshit like this, because this is all I know how to do, right? So now they say, well, we's a man short, so it's going to take sun up to sundown. Boss say, you think y'all can do it? They say, yeah, boss, you keep that grass coming. They say, but we missing a machete man. And the boss say, yeah, one of our good machete mans ain't show up. So it's going to take a little longer because after they lay the grass, they got to come back and help the other machete man. So he said, it's still going to be all right, though. Then like 30 minutes after they started working, the boss say, hey, man, I got a phone call. I got to go to Palm Beach, man. Y'all don't mind? He say, sir, you can get the end loader. You know, that ain't hard. You just bring them the grass, right? And I say, and one of them know how to do it. He said, yeah. I say, well, let them get the end loader. And I lace hard. He said, you sure? I said, yeah, man, go ahead, dog. Look at him. I told the black guy who bring the pallets, I said, man, we gonna do something different. I said, I see your boss will put in pallet to eat plot. Put in pallet to eat plot. I said, this time I want you to do different since we short on time. I say, we're gonna start in the back of a plot, right? I say, you bring the grass to us and keep it at chest height. And when we get halfway done, then you put the pallet in the road and prepare the next pallet, right? They say, we ain't never did it like that. Boss just dropped the pallet in the front and we carry the soil all the way to the bike until we get close to the front. I said, well, we're going to do it a little quicker. Like I said, bring the pallet to us. We in back of the lot. Keep it chest height. And as we lay the grass, you back up slowly and slowly and slowly. And when we get halfway, drop it in the road. Because we right by it then. We ain't number 2 or 3 steps away. I said, we'll fly around this bitch like the road runner, right? They say, okay, we'll try it. We moving. The only thing was slow was the machete man. You know, we laying the grass, tree laying the grass, and they say, damn, one of us gonna go to the machete. I said, well, just give me the machete. They say, you sure, Paul? I said, yeah, I can use a machete, man. I'm from the goddamn Bahamas. And they gave me that machete, and I'm cutting that grass around the sprinkler, cutting it around the sprinkler. Me and the other guy cutting around the sprinkler. We stop every once in a while. We drank a couple of beers for 20 minutes. Then we right back at it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm chopping. We forgot about time. The next thing I know, the sun just going down. And we finished. It would double the work than phase 1 and 2 combined. And 4 black guys and me finished. When the boss came back, it was dark. It was 9 o'clock. We just sitting there drinking. You know, we been drinking for an hour. And the boss said, well, I guess I better grab one of these machetes and start cutting these sprinkler in. They say, boss, that boy, that man, they'll cut that shit, dog. We finished the sprinkler. He say, no way. Hendry ain't him. The best machete man. They say, boss, Hendry can't fuck with that man right there. Say, boss, we finished an hour ago. We waiting on you. He say, for real? We all say, yeah. He said, I wish that goddamn Mr. Roper looking motherfucker with him to say. You know, we all went to laughing. And he said, I tell y'all what, I'm going to stack the pallets. Because we already had the pallet stacks up for him, you know, like in 10 stacks, 5 and 10 stacks. He said, I'm going to load up the truck. And I think y'all 5 need to get to know each other, you know, and do a little talking. Because he said, I think this will a hell of a moment because y'all ain't never seen a black boss man before. So he went to psych and I said, no, y'all never saw a black boss man? They say, no, man. We were conscientious about you because we ain't never seen a boss man work. And I said, well, everywhere I go, they make me work. They say, oh, we can tell. We were shocked. And they say, man, you just like us. You just like us. I said, what you mean? He said, man, all us prison niggas, dog. And I said, oh, I get along with dudes in prison because they basically raised me, you know. I say, and I'm like, I done been to jail and stuff, man. You know what I mean? But my charges be dropped every time I go with. And they say, you went to college? I say, oh, yeah. They say, man, look here, dog. You the hardest motherfucking boss man we ever saw. They all gave me a hug. You know, we all hugged. We got emotional, you know, because this was their first time seeing a black boss man on these type of places, you know, and they say, man, can we have your autograph? I say, bro, y'all don't need my autograph, bro. I ain't shit. I say, I need y'all goddamn autograph. Because y'all for the hardest motherfucker I ever saw. And they say, hey, but tell her, did they really have 21 Mexicans to do that little small thing over there? I said, yeah. It was 21, we couldn't believe it. He said, we never seen no Mexican on our job. I said, for real? They said, no. So in other words, they can pay 21 Mexicans, but they ain't gonna pay us shit. I said, no, you heard what my boss asked the man. Say the black guy's so good, why don't y'all keep them all year round and pay them a good salary? They say, because we can't pay them what they make in the winter. They fruit hogs, man. Say in the wintertime, see them four little fella? They make more money than you and me in a week what we make in a month. And my boss say, really? They that good? The man said, look here, man. We couldn't afford them in the wintertime. There's no way we can hold on to them. So it worked out perfect. You know, we don't get that many jobs in the wintertime, so we let them pick their fruit. And they come back in after fruit season. Work out perfect for us. And that's the story of 4 blacks versus 21 Mexicans. And believe me, you got hard workers in every race. Because I done met some Mexicans who will work them 4 guys under the table. You get what I'm saying? So ain't one race better than the other one. Just that the American labor may be a little smarter because this is our country. We know how things go. And the older Mexican guys, they used to doing things they way in their country. So they might be a little slower than us because they got to, catch on. Because they having trouble with the language. They having trouble understanding. So it's normal. We'll be the same way in their country. But that just a story will let you know the way the races behind the agricultural industry think. Thank you and God bless, and I hope this story helped millions. Bye-bye.